whether it be trying to help them put on a sweater, trying to find a moment where you can bring a smile to their face or make them laugh. That work is about dignity. That work is about dignity. And I'm gonna make sure you have the support and they have the support they deserve. My plan will lower the cost of childcare. Again, it's about dignity. It's about seeing the strains and the pressures. We will cut taxes for small businesses because our small businesses are the backbone of America's economy. Where are our small business owners? Let me see our small business owners. And we will lower health care costs, because here's where I come from on that. Look, I believe access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. Dignity, values about the dignity of each of us, and the responsibility of real leaders to, unlike my opponent, not think that the measure of their strength is based on who you beat down, but the true measure of strength of a leader based on who you lift up. And then you got Donald Trump, who... And his answer to the financial pressures you face is the same as it was the last time: another $1 trillion in tax cuts for billionaires and the biggest corporations. And this time he will pay for it with a 20% national sales tax on everything you buy that is imported: clothes, foods, toys, cell phones. A Trump sales tax that would cost the average American family, the economists have measured it, more than $4,000 more a year. And on top of that, Donald Trump is still trying and still wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which would throw millions of Americans off their health insurance and take us back to when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. You remember what that was like? Well, we are not going back. We are not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. No. Because just like Wisconsin's motto tells us, we will move forward. Yes, we will. I love Wisconsin. And ours is a fight for the future, and it is a fight for freedom. Like the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what to do. And we all remember how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. They did as he intended, and now in America, 1 in 3 women lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban. Many, and the harm we've seen. Many of those laws with no exception even for rape or incest, which is immoral. And he's not done. He would ban abortion nationwide. Yes, even here in Wisconsin. Even here in Wisconsin, it would be impacted. And he would restrict access to birth control, put IVF treatments at risk, and force, get this, and force states to monitor women's pregnancies. Just Google Project 2025. Just look at it. And everyone here I know understands, and let us agree, one does not have to abandon their faith. or deeply held beliefs to simply agree the government shouldn't be telling her what to do. Not the government. Not the government. Not the government. Not some people up in a state legislature, and certainly not Donald Trump. And I pledge to you, when Congress, together with Tammy's help, when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. Proudly. So, Wisconsin. So Wisconsin, I am asking for your vote. I am asking for your vote. And here is my pledge to you. As president, I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to the challenges you face. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress. And I pledge to listen to those who will be impacted by the decisions I make. I pledge to listen to experts, to listen to people who disagree with me. Because you see, unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe that people who disagree with me are the enemy. He wants to put them in jail. I'll give them a seat at the table. That's what real leadership is about. That's what strong leadership is about. And I pledge to always put country above party and self, and to be a president for all Americans. All Americans. So that is my pledge to you, Wisconsin. And now I ask you a question. Who here has already voted? And now I ask you to please talk to your friends and your family and your neighbors and share your perspective on why this election is so important. And for you who have not voted yet, no judgment. Let me just be clear, no judgment at all. But do get to it if you can. And for those who have not yet voted, please think about right now your plan for voting. And think about where and when you will vote. And if you live here in Milwaukee, remember you can vote early now through Sunday, November 3rd. And go to iwillvote.com for all the information you need, including when and where you can vote and where to drop off your absentee ballot, because we need everyone in Wisconsin to vote. You are going to make the difference in this election. You will make the difference. You will make the difference. So listen, it all comes down to this. We are here together because we love our country. We love our country. We love our country. And when you love something, you fight for it. You fight for it. And I do believe it is one of the highest forms of patriotism, of our expression for our love of our country, to then fight for the ideals of our country and to fight to realize the promise of America. That's what this is about. have always believed in our nation's promise because I've lived it. You know, I grew up a child of the civil rights movement. My parents would take me to marches when I was in a stroller. And there were, at those marches, we all know, people from every walk of life coming together to fight for freedom and to fight for opportunity. You know, growing up, I saw how hard my mother worked to raise her two daughters to have the same chances that our country gave her. And I was blessed to have family by blood and family by love who instilled in me a sense of community and compassion and faith. And I've spent my life fighting for people who have been hurt and counted out, but who never stopped believing in our country that anything is possible. I have lived the promise of America, and today, I see the promise of America in everyone who is here, in all of you, in all of us. We are the promise of America. We are the promise of America. It's the fathers and mothers and grandparents who work hard every day for their children's future, in the women who refuse to accept a future without reproductive freedom, and the men who support them. It's in the Republicans who never voted for a Democrat before, but put the Constitution of the United States above party. I see the promise of America in all the young leaders that I see right now who are voting for the very first time. Raise your hand. I love Gen Z. I really do. Here's what I love about you guys. You are rightly impatient for change. I love that about you. I love that about you. You are determined to live free from gun violence. You are going to take on the climate crisis. You are going to shape the world you inherit. I know that. I know that. And here's the thing about our young leaders. None of this is theoretical for them. None of this is political for them. It's their lived experience. It's your lived experience. And I see your power. I see your power, and I am so proud of you. Can we please hear it for our first-time voters? Can we please? Yeah. And those who will be first-time voters. You know, the future of our country is so bright. We just have to see it. It's so bright. So listen, we got 4 days to get this thing done. 4 days. No one can sit on the sidelines. So let's spend the next 4 days so that when we look back on these days, we have no regrets about what we could have done. Let's know we did everything we could do. So let's knock on doors, let's text, let's call, let's reach out to family and friends and classmates and neighbors and coworkers. And here's a request that I have in that process. And while we are doing all of that, let's please be intentional about building community. Let's please be intentional about building community. You know, there's something about this whole Trump era, and it's made people feel like they have to. It's been powered by this idea that Americans should be pointing their fingers at each other. You know, and to make people feel alone and make people feel small. When we all know that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. So let's be intentional about building community and building coalitions. There is strength and power in that will be long-lasting. And finally, I'll say, just remember, and let's remind everybody we know, your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power. That's your power. In a democracy, that is a power that is yours. Don't let anyone take it from you. Don't let anyone take it from you. So Wisconsin, today I ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.